So what happened, it folded to John Esposito in the cutoff. He was sitting on about 25 big blinds. He had 1.5 million. The blinds are 30,000, 60,000 with a 7 or 8,000 ante, I'm not sure. He opened to 165,000. Both players on his left folded and the big blind called, which was Ryan Leneghan, the chip lead, with 12.5 million at the time. He called the 165. So far, I would expect John Esposito to, first of all, stereotypically, as an old man who I know has cashed in the main a lot, he's probably somewhat tighter, and definitely with a 25 big blind stack, he's probably not opening that wide in the cutoff. Leneghan in the big blind flatting here, it's kind of interesting because Esposito has less than 10 times his open, so I'm sure that Leneghan would be shoving his really strong hands. He might be flatting with aces and kings in this spot to trap, but I would say like for sure he would shove ace king, ace queen. People generally play a little tighter in the main event, a little safer, so I guess he could flat here with ace jack. I think he'd be shoving his probably 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, queens for sure, ace queen, ace king for sure. So you can rule out all those hands. He can possibly, I would think his most likely hands are smaller medium pairs, maybe 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and possibly 2s and 3s, and possibly ace jack. Definitely some high suited connectors. So after the flop, it comes jack of diamonds, 4 of hearts, 9 of hearts, as you can see there, and it went check, check. That tells us nothing about Leneghan's range, but Esposito's range can definitely disclude some hands. I think for sure he would be betting his jacks on this, ace jack, king jack, queen jack, 10 jack. I think he would bet all those hands almost 100% of the time on this flop, and he would be betting his queens, kings, and aces 100% of the time. With this, obviously I can't say 100% of the time, but I would say almost always he'd be betting those hands on the draw heavy board against a blind who is calling and can have suited connectors. So this board is likely to him to have outs on this kind of board if you have something like ace jack, and obviously he's going to be happy to get it all in on this flop with a jack, queens, kings, or aces. So with 25 big blinds, so I'm sure he'd just be bet hoping to get it in versus Leneghan on this flop with those hands. So I think you can disclude those hands. I think his most likely hand after checking the flop is ace king, ace queen, possibly king queen, and something like 10s, 8s, 7s, and a 9. I think those are probably 10s, 8s, 7s, or a 9 are the most likely. Ace king, ace queen, and queen king are like his second most likely hands.